Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Al,
My name is Kevin.
and we're here today to talk about cottagecore games. Woo!
Ooh.
I was gonna call myself Sleepy Al again, and then I realized I made that joke last episode, so I'm just
Did you?
always
I don't
Sleepy.
even remember, so you're fine. And
Yeah, when I
I think
posted
I
that
was
episode,
there.
you were like, I don't remember this episode.
Yeah, that's true. I'm also sleepy, so pair of EPs recording a podcast as
EBEBs.
we do.
Yeah, I'm recording two this weekend as well. This is the problem. Like the, I, I enjoy our summer month that we do. I mean, partly because I get some time off, which is always nice, but also like I like thinking up the theme, and the theme is always quite fun. But it does make the time just before I go on holiday just a little bit more busy.
Chaotic. Yeah, it
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. But we got there. We're getting there. We're nearly there. Theoretically, Cody's got quite a lot more to do. But
Theoretically.
all right, this episode we are doing our discounty, the second harvest, because there was an update and Kevin's been playing that update,
Ah,
so
there's a
we're
lot.
gonna do that again.
Yeah, more follow-up of the discounting.
Uh, Before that, we have a bunch of news. But first of all, Kevin, what have you been up to?
It's a lot of work. Been very busy. Had a work trip to California this week. So not
Nice.
terribly exciting because it was work and all work. But I did go to the In-N-Out, first time in my life.
Is that a
You were
specifically
in,
Californian place?
yeah. So for people unaware, I'm originally from California, but it's been some 25 years since I've been there. Really. But yes, In-N-Out is a famous burger chain based out of California. They're known for pretty good food, but also their menu is fairly small and cheap and affordable. They have that kind of classic American diner sort of aesthetic. They got employees with the paper hats. Um, but they also have the quote unquote the secret menu, which is hundreds of items, but it's not on the menu when you walk in, but if you
Is
know, you ask and they give it to you.
is this what like the theme of like Good Burger is based on?
It's very good burger-esque. Yeah, you could say that. It's not the only burger chain to have that kind of aesthetic, but it is in that vein.
Part of the problem of growing up not in America is that obviously we see a lot of American media, right? Because there's just a lot of it,
Yeah,
and
we're known for that.
we're it's very hard to know what is real and what is not real in American media, right?
Mm. Usually you can err on the side of it's probably more real than you think.
But the problem is some of it just seems so ridiculous. Like, why would that be real? But
Well, welcome to America. Um, when you came to the States, you went to Cali, right?
yeah, I didn't go to an In
Yeah.
and Out though. I
Yeah, I'm
that wasn't
surprised they didn't
that
take you.
that wasn't even brought up as an option.
Well, they're not very good hosts. Shame
Well,
on
look,
them.
look.
Yeah.
Vincent was taking me places with good food,
Yeah.
and certain other people who should remain nameless were taking me to places with bland food. So,
Well, look, sometimes there's a place to meet in the middle. With America, you got to experience both ends, okay? Like, yes, we got the you went to the Korean barbecue and some nice places,
yes, the
but
Korean barbecue was nice.
you got to try the Waffle House.
I did eat some random food from a gas station,
Okay, yeah, that's in the same
but
category,
that
so
was
you
all
know.
me.
Well,
That
good
was
on you.
I'll tell you why that happened. So,
Yeah.
I was walking down the road, uh, you know, classic European walking, um, going to meet up with people. But it was roughly about an hour for me to walk
Yeah.
from my hotel to the hotel that other people were staying in.
As
Um,
is America, yeah.
but about half of that time was just standing waiting for me to be able to cross roads.
Yeah, that's
There's
also
just
America.
so many roads. Anyway, so I was
Yeah.
walking and I spy in the distance, oh, there's a McDonald's. Maybe I'll go get a McDonald's breakfast, see what McDonald's breakfast is like in America. But here's the problem. It was drive-through only.
Oh, what?
I didn't realize this was a thing.
Okay, so it's pretty rare. I'll say that, or at least in my experience, it's not that common. There are some restaurants that do that.
I mean, LA is going to
Um,
be the place where it happens,
yeah,
right?
I was about to say if you're smack dab in the middle of a very urban area, yeah, that's more likely. But
I was gobsmacked. I was standing at this going, I, I can't get into this. I can't buy food from this place.
yeah.
What is that? It's like, what am I gonna have to like book an Uber? So I was like, oh well, okay, I guess I need to think up something else. And then I saw a gas station just down the road, and I was like, oh, they have food, right?
Yeah.
And so I went in
Yeah.
and found
Question mark.
these.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, see, this is important because gas
They
stations,
might have been
there's a
taquitos,
spectrum. Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
like a little. It was certainly like a small tortilla wrapped thing,
Yeah, that sounds like taquitos. And you
and
were in
that
LA, so very likely.
yeah, and that
Uh,
name was in my brain, so I googled it to check that it was what I was thinking it was. So I think it might have been that, and it was fine. It was exactly what you'd expect from food from a gas station, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was going in with the expectation that I was about to eat a McDonald's breakfast. So, quality
Yeah.
here is, we're not expecting much.
Yeah. On par. There you go.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, no, I mean gas stations do vary in quality, the type of food. Some are genuine mistakes, but some are acceptable enough. I will have lunch at a Quick Trip. They'll make you a fresh sub. Taquitos, that's probably an all right. That's probably an all right choice. Um,
Do you know, here you mentioned subs. It took
yeah,
me a long time to realize that Subway is not the only place that subs exist because they're
yeah,
just not really a thing here.
sure. Yeah, no,
Subway
I think
was
it's
was the entirety of subs for most of, until I was like significantly into my adulthood.
darn that. I mean, that's a shame, but I get it. Because yeah, Subway is like bottom tier of subs, to
I
be
mean,
very
we get
frank.
we get others like obviously we you know we you can we do baguettes and stuff like that, but like
Yeah, 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 sure,
the
sure, sure.
like the like soft kind of elongated roll, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's not really something you. I mean, you can. There are other sub shops you can get here, but like
Yeah,
that, it was basic. It was Subway. There wasn't really anything else when I was growing up.
yeah, sure. No, I guess that makes sense. It is like I'm not an expert food historian, but as I understand, it came from the New York-ish area.
Oh, that's New
Um,
York, right? Okay, interesting.
yeah, but with all the immigrants and stuff, like it was kind of an adaptation, as I understand it. Especially like the Italian Americans, just building stuff up. But anyways, yeah, no, that well, I hope you enjoy better subs if you ever make it back out to the States in a couple of administrations, assuming the country still stands.
Maybe one day. Oh, the sub does
Hey,
actually stands for submarine. Why
yeah,
submarine?
I think it's just the shape.
Is that the shape of a submarine? I guess maybe.
Yeah,
Kind of.
long oval,
If you squint.
elongated. Yeah, if you squint, yeah. Um, but yeah, so back to In-N-Out. In-N-Out was all right. Yeah. I think I've had better burgers. The burger was okay, but the value was there. It was jam packed. We got the World Cup going on, so and I was near the airport in Los Angeles, so lots of people, lots of tourists, jam packed In-N-Out. But I gave it a thumbs up. It was all right. It's good. Lived up to the hype. Yeah, so that's In-N-Out. So aside from that, um, not a lot of other food stuff because things are ridiculously expensive because hotels and stuff. And it was just like I said, work trip. I wasn't cruising around. Sadly, I was working in the hotel even when I wasn't on site. Um, but what I did get though was since there were two long flights, I got some airplane movies in.
Yes.
Um, so
Go
let's go
on.
down this list. I got four. I was able to knock out two on each trip, a to and from trip. First off, Goat by Sony Animation.
Oh yeah, I haven't actually seen that. I have
Yeah,
heard good
uh,
things though.
it was enjoyable. It was Zootopia basketball, I guess. That's the way to describe it.
I mean,
Zootopia, but basketball.
sounding good still.
Yeah, no. It was enjoyable. It was uh yeah, because it's all animals, but they're very animalistic. It's the voice performances were good. Animation is the same, the Spider
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Verse animation crew, so of course that's quality.
They've got it
Um,
down. They've got their animation down.
yep, they got it down. It was a thumbs up. Patton Oswalt was in it and had a great scene in it. And I was surprised because they had some basketball people in the movie doing voices. That they were actually pretty good performances, all things considered. So yeah, thumbs up for that. One thing I like, they call it Roarball. That's the game. It's basketball, but animals. The one thing they actually take advantage, like Zootopia, they have the different biomes, right? There's the
Yeah.
ice town, the heat town, the jungle town. They actually make use of the biomes. So there's like a
Mm,
cave stadium. Well, stalactites are falling all over the place, and the ice
nice.
stadium, the ice will break apart and stuff. So that was cool to see. So yeah, a thumbs up. Goat from Sony Animation. I recommend. Next up, The Running Man 2025 or
Ah,
six, whatever, the one that just came out.
good. I
Um,
enjoyed that film.
yeah, I also enjoyed it.
Would have been better
And
had they actually done the 9/11 at the end. Just saying.
yeah, it
Because
would have been right.
that's how the book ends.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
But
Um,
they
and
wimped out on the film.
yeah, they wimped out because they tried to, but it was right there. I can see exactly where they could have done it. That's a shame, but yeah, no, it was enjoyable. I don't have much to say. Like it was just solid, enjoyable. It did what it came to do. Let's see what else. The return trip. I watched Sinners, the vampire
Mm.
one with Michael B. Jordan playing
Michael
Michael
B.
B.
Jordan
Jordan
and Michael
and
B. Jordan.
himself.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
mean,
I
this might
obviously,
be a hot take, Kevin.
yeah,
This might be a hot take, but I think that film is good.
yeah. What? I I also thought the film was good.
Radical.
Yeah.
It's
Mindful.
one of those films where you're like, I'm a little bit worried going into it
Yeah,
because people have hyped it up so much. Is it actually going to live up to the hype? But I thought it
yeah,
did.
yeah. It was solid. Yeah. I don't have much else to add. Like the Oscars, the Academy Awards, whatever. They've already said their piece. So yeah, it was good. Good
I
stuff.
particularly enjoy the music scene, the big
Yeah, that was so well done,
the
right?
moving
When they
between different generations of musicians, past and future. I thought was so
and
well done.
and they actually implement the music into it. That was
Yeah,
that was phenomenal. Absolutely.
yeah.
Um, yeah, no, good stuff. Um, and then lastly, Murder on the Orient Express, the recent one, Hercule Poirot. Um, have you seen that one? Do you know what I'm talking about, Al?
I know what you're talking about, but no, I haven't seen
Okay.
it.
Yeah, was it Agatha
Is that
Christie?
from
Is that the author?
2017? Yeah, Agatha
Is
Christie.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess
is
so,
that from
because there's been like two
2017?
sequels since then. Yeah, that sounds correct.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
it,
one. The problem
it's
is, it's one of those stories that there's so many different adaptations in, not just in film, right? Like
yeah,
it's a very adapted story.
yeah, yeah. What else to say, right? So I wait, who was even the actor? I don't know. Uh, who played Hercule? I don't even know. Well, Hercule Poirot did a fantastic job in the movie. Um, but yeah, it was solid. What can I say? I
Kenneth
will say, like,
Branagh.
that's the guy,
I
Kenneth.
don't know who he is, Kenneth Branagh.
I don't either, but
Oh,
he
I
did a good
recognize his
job.
face.
I do because he was in the movie I just
Well,
watched.
yes, obviously, but no,
Yeah, no,
I
I know,
recognize
I
his
know. I'm
face.
just kidding.
What have I seen him in?
He's
Have a look.
been in a handful of things. It looks like I don't know which one you've seen or not, but
I'm looking. I'm looking.
yeah, I mean, it's a solid mystery, murder mystery. Um, I will say the bar is kind of high now because of the Knives Out films.
Yeah.
Um, and I know this came way before that, so it's kind of unfair, but I was just thinking I wish I could have seen the third Knives Out movie instead, which I hadn't seen.
I think the thing is you gotta think of them as being different things, right? Like,
They
yes,
are.
Knives Out is a mystery, but it's not trying to be a traditional mystery, right? It's trying to be something more than that. It's different.
Yeah,
And I think
you're
it's
right.
important to maybe not let it ruin other murder
You're
mysteries
right.
because that's a whole thing in and of itself.
You're right. Yeah, I mean the Knives Out, like uh, unintentional, or I guess not heavy-handed, but they're almost comedies as much as mysteries,
Yeah.
and so that you're right. That's a bit unfair.
They're also trying to the second two certainly are trying to like say something rather than just be a mystery, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, really, the first Knives Out, right? Like they give you the answer 20 minutes into the movie. So what do you do from there? It's very interesting. And so yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Knives Out stands on stuff like Murder on the Orient Express, right?
Yeah.
So well, I will say it's my first time watching Murder, any adaptation of Murder on the Orient Express, so it was fun to see. Fun group of characters and actors that they had there too. But
Uh,
yeah,
I found out what it is I've seen him in, and it's a film series that has been ruined by its author.
yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't bring it up. I saw the name, and I thought, yeah, that's probably that one. Um,
Ah, dear.
his mustache is great. They did a great job with his ridiculous mustache.
Yeah.
um.
All
Anyway,
right.
so yeah, that's what I've been up to. Just busy. I
Nice.
haven't even played Pocopia. Can you believe that's how insanely busy I've been with work? I haven't even touched
Shocking.
the Pocopia update yet. I did play Disc
Shocking.
County, which we'll talk about. But what about you, Al? What's going on?
Well, I'm continuing to play Bistro. Talked about that last episode, but that is continuing to go, and I continue to have thoughts and feelings about it. And I look forward to talking about it at some point in the future. Um,
Ah,
but I also this week started and finished Kabuto Park, which may or may not be for something that we'll talk about in the future. Who knows? We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. Do
we
you know? Who knows?
who knows? It's
I will say
weird that I was just gonna say it's weird that Pokemon isn't, pushing their spin-off game, but okay.
I will say one thing about Kabuto Park. I think it is as if someone you described Pokemon to someone in
Yeah,
this way. It's kind of like a bug catching game where you go around and you catch bugs and then you make them fight each other.
yeah,
It's kind of like if that description was then
yeah,
turned into a game.
yeah.
That's what Kabuto Park is.
Well, you know what the crazy part is that let's not forget that's where Pokemon actually started.
Well, exactly. Exactly. So it's interesting, and I may or may not have thoughts about it in the future. Who knows? I don't know. Couldn't possibly say.
Couldn't possibly say.
I may or may
Only
not be
there's a
talking about that
platform.
tomorrow.
Only there's a platform for these thoughts. If only.
Yeah, so that's about it. I also haven't played the Pokopia event yet, but hopefully soon. However, yesterday, Craig did pick Pokopia back up again, and to quote him, I'm now really enjoying this game.
Yeah.
Maybe because he got Rock Smash and started terraforming.
Oh, there you go. That'll do it. I
But yeah.
Yeah, that's good for him. Glad he enjoys it now. Yeah, that
Yeah, we'll
reminds me.
see.
I
We'll
don't,
see how far he goes. I don't know. At this point,
mm,
he's not really doing the story. He's just kind of going around and building stuff. But
and leveling the earth. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that sounds like Craig. Yeah, good
well,
stuff.
he's not really. He's not really like leveling it all and building stuff. He seems like, and I'm trying not to, influence him too much, but he seems to be building round everything. Like he's rebuilding bridges and stuff like that.
Okay,
So, I think he's probably wanting to roughly stay with how the world is and build his stuff around that. So it'll be interesting to see what
so
happens.
coloring in the lines. Okay,
Yeah, I think so. I think so. We'll see. We'll see how that continues. That's what we've been up
uh,
to. Woo.
good stuff. Woo!
Let's talk about some news. First up, Harvest Moon: Echoes of Terradia. We have a trailer, so we actually finally have some information about this game because previously it was just like, here's a game that we're releasing this year. I mean, graphics wise, it basically just looks like the last three games, which
Yeah,
It's fine. Like I don't hate it, and it's one of these things where I think it feels very similar to me, like talking about Pokemon graphics, where it's like you could absolutely complain that this doesn't look realistic. Sure, fine, but I don't think that's what people are looking for. And you could
Yeah.
probably complain that the grass doesn't look good. Yeah, sure, fine. Um, Interesting thing about this trailer is that there's the different areas look like dramatically different. They look like they're different games.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. I mean that tropical beach, all those tornadoes
Yeah.
look pretty cool. Yeah.
The grass looks
You're
particularly bad in that area, but
it does. It looks like a texture. Um,
yeah, yeah. Um,
yeah.
it's almost like they weren't finished with that area, but they're like, we need it in the trailer because
Yeah.
we need to let them know there's a tropical area.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, let's see. I've got a bunch of stuff. So they seem to have the different seasonal villages which they had in what was it, One World, where
Uh,
you would
I
move
don't
around the
remember.
different areas to plant different crops.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah.
Um, what else? Oh yeah, wild animals can attack you in this game.
That's interesting.
Yeah, previously they've just existed, and the
Yeah.
most you could do is like pet them, and they might get friendly, but that's all. Whereas this one, they can attack you. Hmm. Okay, less cozy than cozy now.
Well, they got to spice it up somehow, I guess. I don't know.
They're
Um,
continuing to have Doc Jr., who's making lots of stuff. So hopefully we've got some new uh, fun inventions to use.
yeah. I'm just thinking that a lot of animals in this, which Harvest Moon, sure. Um,
Yeah, they showed the climbing. So we've never had climbing in this game before in Harvest Moon, but they showed us
yeah,
climbing cliff.
yeah. I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because like it's a trailer showing a lot, but it's a lot of Harvest Moon.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. A lot of it is like, hey, here's this game that looks like the previous game, and the previous game,
Yeah,
and the previous game.
they have tornadoes. That's kind of cool.
The mining looks almost identical to Home Sweet Home.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's a few colorful towns. That one town with a little trumpet sign.
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna play this game. I really hope. It's hard to know at this point, but I really hope this takes more from Home Sweet Home than it does from the other previous games. But we'll have to
It's
see.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell right now.
Yeah.
It's very not generic, but like I don't know, it's hard to gather anything like super special from the trailer. There's no stinger, right? There's no like wow moment or look at that.
I
It's
don't
like,
think
yeah, there's
so. I don't think so. We'll
yeah.
just have to see how it
I'll have to
goes.
see. It looks like a Harvest Moon game, I'll say that.
Yeah, I think if you're like looking for something dramatically different, probably not getting it here.
Yeah. Sadly I'm not seeing it. Nope.
But will it be fun? That's the question.
No,
Because
that's the $1 million question, and you definitely can't tell from here.
because I found One World kind of fun. I found what was the one after One World? Oh, goodness me, there's too many of them now.
Right, so Winds of Anthos.
Yes, I didn't enjoy Winds of Anthos at all. And then Home Sweet Home I did enjoy and was the first one I'd completed since One World. Which I mean, that's only one. That's one game. I'm just saying there's one game that I didn't finish there. Having said that, One World I really only finished because I was like, I need to know how this story finishes. It wasn't like I was actually super enjoying the game, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. Um, so yeah, I
Uh,
guess we'll see. It's still coming out in the end of September, so 24th of September, or it looks here like it's coming out on the 25th of September. If I look at the pre-order, it says 25th for here. Yeah, super fun.
Harvest Moon is this it continues, it persists.
It does, and we will talk about it. Will it be game of the year? Probably not.
Probably not. Let's be real.
Probably not. Um, of course, my real question is, we've got a new Harvest Moon. Where's my Story of Seasons? Come on.
Yeah,
30th anniversary. Give me my Story of Seasons, please. Apparently, Marvelous said in a call this week that they have some anniversary stuff to talk about, which they were mentioning, like events and stuff like that. They didn't mention a game, but I don't think they would mention a game because they want it to be a surprise.
Yeah, they're gonna
So
look. They're gonna shadow drop it on November 19th. They're gonna do it. They're gonna have the chutzpah.
is that the anniversary?
No, that's the day GTA comes out.
Oh, of course, GTA. That would be very funny, but I feel like you gotta not shadow drop it for that day. Also, that's not the day that is coming. That GTA is
It's
coming
not.
out.
I thought it was.
I'm standing by it. It's not coming out this
Oh. Okay. You're believe. They're saying it. Sony said it.
Yeah, they
We'll
can say
see.
it all they want. That doesn't mean it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Still don't think it's happening. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm. All right. Well, you might be right. It's June. They still have time to delay. You're right.
Exactly. Exactly. Look, we've had games that have been up for pre-order delay before. Animal Crossing. That delayed by 6 months after you could pre-order it.
Oh, good times.
All right. We will keep you up to date with Harvest Moon, and I should probably order the physical so I can sell it. Next up, we have Kinseed. They have announced two things. First up, they've got a tavern update, which is out now. And that, can you guess what that includes, Kevin?
Does it include a place where you can gather and have a drink, perhaps?
It includes a tavern.
Wow.
This has been one of the most requested additions from the community, apparently. So we're more excited than that time Herbert Lemon got a new woolly cloak. I think that might be a joke from the game. I don't know. I haven't played it.
I haven't either. Yeah.
But they've also announced that the game is coming to consoles on the 4th of August.
Good for them. I'll be honest, I didn't remember this game, but looking at the video, there's stuff going on actually. I like the monster designs.
Yeah, what do you think about the graphics? What's your opinion? Because I know sometimes we're very similar in graphics and sometimes we're very different on graphics.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a little there's a few spots where it's rough around the edges. Like I don't think it's bad. Um I like there's parts that look really good. Like I said, the monster designs I think look good. Some of the animation looks good, but like I look at some of the like actual human designs, like
I
I'm not
hate the
feeling it.
human designs. I hate the people.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
mean, just in
feeling it.
general, but no, I just the sprites for the humans just look really weird. Don't like
Yeah,
them.
it's
I think it's
almost
partly that
like
they all seem to be facing the camera most of the time. That's putting me off. Like I don't want to see both sides of your face at the same time.
sure, sure. There's I don't even know like for this is a very weird way to describe it, but they almost have Muppet-like designs, but which doesn't fit the aesthetic exactly.
Yeah, no, I get your
Um,
point. It's like proportions.
yeah, something about that. Like some of them got those really big noses, which I don't know. It just doesn't fit the tone, but yeah. So like no, that's definitely a rough spot there. But there's a lot going on. I mean, I forgot about this game, but I'm interested. It coming to consoles, will that get me to buy it? Maybe.
I have not played it. I'm not really planning to. It is 75% off on Steam just now. That's a thing.
Cool.
But yeah, so coming to Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S on the 4th of August. Next up, Bitter Harvest have released a new update. The 1.4 update. This brings animals. You can now raise chickens, ducks, cows, goats, and they work exactly how you'd expect.
Yeah, animals.
They've also added 4 new crops: beets, potato, kale, and tomato. Kevin, this game feels like it's in early access.
Little bit. I was about to say little bit, right? Like for animals seem a little important when you're farming, just saying. And then these crops. Yeah, no,
Potato. Why is potato being added in an update? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. That's very strange. How did you launch a farming game without cows? Wow.
I'm very
And
confused.
chickens. I like okay, you know what? Goats, fine. Goats maybe that's a later one, but cows and chickens kind of important. Man, I always get a whiplash from this game Because when I think of Bitter Harvest, I think of that cover art, that image with
Yep.
that kind of suspicious feeling. And then you get the actual game art and very very different.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, 1.4. Do we wait for 2.0? Is that the actual
I feel like at this
1.0?
point you're probably waiting for 4.0, but um, we'll see. We'll see. They've also added more farm space, sprinklers, watering can upgrades, and stamina upgrades through cooking.
That's all. That's a lot of stuff that should have been in there.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I think if this was early access, it would feel more excusable that that stuff wasn't there.
Yeah,
Hard to know what to do, but there we
yeah.
go.
There's no
Speaking
winning.
Speaking of updates, I was going to be mean and say updates that should have been there from the beginning. Actually, I disagree. I think this is an update that should never have happened.
I also think this.
Outbound have added fishing for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't understand because, like, I mean, okay, sure. We're moving around the world in a camper van and we're gathering things to survive. Sure, fine, do fishing if you want. I never felt like it was missing. Like, there were
yeah.
things I don't like about that game. There are things I was improve. None of that would be, I want fish.
Here is my issue. I think because like I look at the fishing, the mechanics, the animation, it looks pretty robust, all things considered. Um, my issue is this is Outbound. This is the RV, camp and whatever you want to call it game, right?
Yeah.
I feel like everything should be revolving around that.
Hmm.
So if you're gonna fish, why am I not fishing off the vehicle? You're going to separate buildings.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing that like that I don't know whether it's only one specific spot you can fish in or whether it's
There's a
like
few
that's where you can
spots.
buy the fishing rods and start fishing, which
Yeah,
feels
it's
a
like a
bit
fishing
like
hut.
that feels weird. If you're going out to camp and you're going to live off the land, take a fishing
Yeah.
rod with you.
Yeah.
Don't wait to see if you can buy one somewhere.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Why is there not a dock off my trailer RV thing? That's the whole point. But the fish look nice. You can build aquariums in your trailer thing. That's cool. Um,
Yeah, so here's a question. Is it just Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm reading it. So it's not you're not actually fishing to eat them. You're only fishing to have the fish. Please note we decided fish will not serve as a source of nutrition. Instead, they are intended as collectible and decorative elements for your homes. I get what they're doing. They're trying to be like, oh, we're still a vegan game if you want.
yeah.
We're also like, is fishing for captivity better?
Um,
Like if like seriously, like if
yeah.
you disagree with any animal consumption, full stop,
Hmm.
right? Which I personally do not, but I am not going to say that someone is wrong for believing that.
Hmm.
If that is what your opinion is, I don't see how hooking a fish on a hook and then throwing it into a fish tank is somehow better.
Yeah,
Like
it
that
does.
surely is just as cruel.
Yeah, it's not harm. It doesn't sit. It does not seem to fit in the theme of the harmony with nature, right? That Outbound kind of pushes. I agree. It feels kind of strange. If it went somewhere else, I don't know, a fish rescue center. I don't know what, something like
I'm
that,
not sure how
maybe,
why you
but
would be rescuing them by
I
fishing them
don't
up, though.
know.
This is the thing, like,
Research.
the fishing is the problem, surely, with fishing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is just as, okay, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to leave
I'll say this: fish are delicious. I like fish to eat fish. I'm just saying. I also like fish. I have some goldfish. That's fine, but
that.
it's not the same as fishing it out of the lake ever and putting it in a small little tank in your RV.
Yeah,
Um,
it seems like a weird decision to be like, oh, we don't want you to
yeah,
eat the fish, but we do want you to catch them.
yeah. Well,
Anyway, if you really want fishing, there you go. You got your
there,
fishing in your camper van game.
except not fishing from the camper van, sadly.
Next up, Sunhaven have released a 3.1 update, and this is a quality of life improvements update. They have added repairable items.
That's good.
They have added a pop up when you gain a new recipe.
That's also good.
They've also added credits to the game.
That's really good. That's so good. It should have been there from the start.
It sounds like they actually, it sounded like, actually, I'm not sure if the credits existed in the game at all. Because the first one is added a credits button to the main menu. And then there's added team credits and added community credits. So that does make it sound like there were no credits, full stop.
I will be, to give the generous interpretation, there have been more people who have helped out, so they're adding credits to the credits. But
yeah,
I agree with you. It does sound like there were no credits to begin with, which is not good.
Well, so here's my take on credits in games.
Yes,
I find it a little bit weird. Now, I understand that credits are in games because they're kind of treated like film, TV, stuff like that, and those have credits. But this is not me saying that people should not be credited for their work, right? Let me get that out there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to be very careful with my wording here.
Yeah, I can tell because you're dancing here.
I am all about the solidarity and the unions and the working people. I just want to make it clear. This is specific to credits. I find credits weird because there are very few jobs in the world where you working on something means your name gets splatted on the end of it.
Sure.
Film, TV, games.
Sure.
That's basically it, right? Can you imagine if every website you went to had a list of every single person that had worked on that website?
I guess so. That would be.
That like, just coming from my point of view of my work, like I make websites, I would find it really weird if that was a thing that happened. And obviously games tend to have credits because they're treated more like film and TV than they are treated like websites and software and stuff like that. And I do get that sometimes software does also have like a credits page, but it tends to be much more limited, right? Like big pieces of software don't tend to, because like a little indie thing will generally have the credits of the people who've worked on it because they want to put their name on it. But like big things don't tend to, and they have many, many, many more people that work on a project.
Right.
I don't think I'm saying that I don't think credits should exist. I just find it as a concept really weird because it's really unique to one specific area of life, and nobody else in their jobs gets credits. And I know the argument here is like, oh, right, fine. Well, then you should work for other jobs to give credits rather than removing credits from the jobs that give them. But I don't know if I'd want my name on all the websites that I make.
Sure.
Because a lot of them are making substandard stuff. And that's not because I want to. It's not because that's what I'm trying to do. It's because like people do that. People make you make things that are bad, right? And that is also the case with games and TV and film.
Yeah.
And I bet there are people who are like, oh, my name has to be on this.
Yeah.
Like, oh my word.
Yeah,
I can't believe my name has to be forever tied to this piece of media that's dreadful.
Some people hide their names even, or use a pseudonym for the credits. It happens, yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's a thing that happens?
Yeah, that's absolutely a thing that happens. I know it's prominent in movies. I don't know how much that happens in game credits, but that is a thing that happens. Yes, people will use pseudonyms.
But then what are we doing? Why what are we doing? If some people are not even in the credits, why are we putting pretend names in the credits? You're not giving credit then.
Yeah, well, I mean that's at that point that's that person's choice how they want to be credited, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not saying we should not do this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't want people to come at me and say, I can't believe you're saying that people shouldn't get credit for what they make. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I find credits weird, just as a concept.
Yeah, well,
weird.
I think how should I put this? Okay, there's two ways in my head to think about it. One is the more fancy as an artist, right? I make a drawing. I sign it, or I want people to know I made this. Like, I think that's very clear why I would want that, right? Just for ownership's sake, if nothing else, right? And I think a lot of it does stem from that. Um, these fields we're talking about, movies, games, books, shows, whatever, all basically artistic mediums and stuff like that. And there's,
Yes.
to different extents, different parts of it. So I do think people who work on it want to at least be acknowledged they were involved on a project. I think that's understandable and fair. um
There
I
are
think
many
there's
other artistic mediums that don't get credited, right? Like, I don't even need to get into the argument of software, right? Like, I do think that building software is art. But, like, say, for
sure, no,
example,
I agree.
like Lego models.
Yeah,
People who design the Lego models, they don't get credited. That's
yeah,
100%
no,
art. There's so many
yeah,
things
oh,
like that.
I
And
agree.
again, yeah, I know the argument is, oh, well, maybe they should fight to get it. I get that. I totally get that just
Yeah,
as a concept, that we shouldn't take away people's rights and we should fight for us to get the rights instead. I totally get that.
yeah,
But I just find
yeah,
credit as a general idea really weird.
sure.
Like, to me, the reason I work, and maybe this is different, maybe this is different for different people. To me, the reason I work is because I have to work and I have to get
Yeah,
paid. And the credit for doing my job is I get the
yeah,
money. And I go, thank you for the money.
yeah,
And then I'm done. I find it weird when people are like, I mean, this is probably the Scottish person in me. I don't like when people say you did a good job, because that makes me feel weird. And like, people are like, oh, well, I want to be told that I feel I've been good at my job. And I'm like, but you get the money. The money is the thank you for doing the job. I don't need thanks for doing my job. I want the money.
sure,
Let's not pretend I'm here because I want to be. I'm here because of the
sure.
money.
No, I look, I agree, and there are, I would say the majority of jobs are probably like that, but again, I think these much more, well, traditionally artistic leaning jobs, I think people might feel a little more strongly about it.
Yeah.
If I were working on a game, I would want to get my name plastered somewhere.
Hmm.
Um, but that's somewhat personal too. I'm just saying that seems to be the trend, though. Um,
Would you want your
but
name put on the stuff that you make in your job just now?
uh, I honestly, when I save my files at work, I will put my initials partially for the like transparency or practicality of saying, hey, who made this? Go to him with their questions. But also, yes, I'm signing my name. I'm putting my initials. Um,
Mm,
but that's a little more complex because how should I put this? My work is not end facing, let's say, or outward facing.
sure,
It's more internal. But
sure,
so
but like the
that's
end facing
kind of thing
stuff
for me.
couldn't happen without your work.
Yeah, true. And to be fair, you know what? I would. There are hundreds of air conditioning systems out in the United States that I designed,
Yeah,
and
and
yes, my name should be on them.
and if we take films as an example, there are people credited on there that their job was incredibly vital for it to happen, but
Yeah,
it's also not facing. Like you see,
yeah,
like assistant to so and so gets credited
yeah,
on films.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Um, so I mean, yeah, it's a weird thing. You're
Yeah.
right. And well, the other part I was gonna say, like, I think it's also important just for the, how should I put this? The ownership, right? The more practical, like almost legal ownership, to be able to say, putting something in a portfolio, to have credit, to make it very clear that yes, you did work on this project, and to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, in my industry, like, you will give examples of what you worked on, and nobody ever really questions it.
Oh, sure. No, I agree. Yeah, and same thing in my industry. Nobody would question it either. Um, but look in the art world, especially with all the AI nonsense going on, like it's a problem. Big even
That's a
before the
whole
world
other
of
question,
AI.
though. The ownership doesn't seem to matter in that situation. It's not.
Yeah,
We're
well,
not.
I
You're
know,
like, all
but
these problems are not being solved.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
but
think that's just an
that's
example of like, it doesn't really matter what you think, because eventually someone's gonna go and take it from you anyway.
yeah, well, yeah, there's that. But that's why you do the credits in a somewhat feeble attempt to circumvent that. It's what you can do,
Yeah.
but you're right. When you're at that point, there's not much you can do. Credits don't matter to those people for sure. Um,
Anyway, again, just to be clear, not not trying to say that workers should have any less rights. I'm not saying that the hard fought for rights that particularly union strong jobs in artistic industries have gained. I am very pro that. I think it is amazing what they've done to get themselves the rights in so many ways. Specifically credits, I just find as a concept weird.
Al is removing my name from this episode and all future episodes going forward.
No, so that's an interesting thing because like obviously at the bottom of every episode in the show notes
Yeah,
it
yeah,
says that this podcast is created by me, which
yeah,
is half true.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know what? Like, because there's the thing, right? Like, at some point, I took people's names off things that they were no longer working on. That doesn't mean that they didn't create it, help
Yeah,
create it.
originally, yeah, but yeah, yeah,
But like, people can't have ownership over something forever, especially if they no longer want to be part of it.
yep. Yeah, if they're not contributing or we actually want to be part of it. Yeah, you're right. Um,
I mean,
yeah, I don't fault you for that.
that's a whole other conversation, right? Because
Yeah,
like when we're talking about games or film or TV, they're generally, I mean, games are a little bit more complicated, but they're generally you make a thing and then you release a thing,
yeah,
and then if someone stops working on things, then they're not going to be working on the next one. More complicated when games are really long, drawn out processes, but you generally wouldn't like someone is still. I guess the thing is that like this is an episodic thing.
yeah.
So someone being involved in the first episode of something does not give them the right to have. No, I'm going too deep into this. I'm going to cut that bit. It's too
That's
inside
fair.
baseball.
Yeah,
Credits, weird, I find. Not saying they shouldn't exist. I just find it interesting. Moving on.
and they're in Sunhaven.
Hotel Galactic have released their first update since they were taken over. Presumably that happened a long time ago because they announced that they'd taken over the game a week ago, and now we've got what looks like quite a big update. So I'm guessing it's been a while. But this is
Who's
the
which
0.6.7 update.
which team is credited for this update?
Oh boy, that brings up whole other things, right? The whole other
Yeah,
questions, which I don't want to get into.
yeah.
So with the 0.6.7 update, which has the name Digging Deeper, they have added mines. Well, it's called the
Wow.
Undergrounds, but it's mines.
Shocker. Shocker.
They've also added a fast travel system with teleports
That that's a good
tel-
one.
or portals. They keep changing their mind on what it's called.
That's that's a handy dandy feature. There I maybe I just need to play the game. I thought I was running a hotel. To
Yeah. And so you got portals in your hotel now.
the mines.
Some of the the mines. Yeah. If you ever found yourself thinking, I don't have enough stone while crafting furniture in Hotel Galactic, you can now safely tuck this memory away. With this update, your hotel will start growing downward, and you'll not only be able to explore the undergrounds, but also mine several different resources, yes, including stone, within these halls. Construct rooms, decorate, and enjoy the new layers of planning you can achieve with this addition. Can I put guests in the basement?
Can I put them to work in the mines?
And then the fast travel system, some of the suggestions and feedback we received on a rather regular basis dealt with the slight inconvenience of the in-game island being rather spacious, and that it takes quite a while for your workers to go from one side of the island to another. And we hear you. It does take a bit for them to do that, and I can only imagine they changing between we and I. That's messing me up. I can only imagine the tiredness after a day spent walking like that. To remedy that issue and make sure that your workers can move around the island much faster, we're introducing teleport system that will greatly improve both your experience as a player and your workers' lives. In essence, the teleport system will allow your workers to teleport from one place. Why are they over explaining what teleporting is?
Yeah, yeah, they kind of are.
From one place on the map to another. Pretty simple and effective. And yes, you'll be able to place these teleports as you like, with very minor exceptions. What's more, these teleports are not just for your workers, guests can use them as well. Let them jump in and instantly be whisked away to another place, letting them quickly reach many of the amenities you have prepared for them in your venue. Oh boy. Sure, sounds good. I feel like
Yeah.
these posts could be better worded though. That
Yeah, it's a
that's
lot of words to say we have
yeah.
portals. Quick jump.
And they are adding some more guest related stuff, story related stuff, some new rooms, uh,
Cinema, that's cool.
and a new decoration system, etc. Why are all my workers a specific race? Is this a have we have we created apartheid here?
Maybe.
Have you noticed this? They're all a very
Yeah.
specific type of creature that you're
Yeah.
workers.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
this.
There's the working class. What do you want?
Uh not slaves? That's what I would like. Sorry, is that too much to ask? To not have
Maybe.
racism in my game?
What if they were meant to be?
All right, JK Rowling. All right. Two more pieces of news before the new game. First up, GoGo Town have announced that their early access saves will not be compatible with 1.0.
That's not good.
I don't like this. I know that there is an argument for this and like, oh, blah, blah, like keeping all of the like old saves working forever throughout early access into 1.0 can be a lot of work and they want a fresh start for 1.0. I get that. But this
Yeah.
is a problem that will continue forever. And I don't think that anyone would accept it at any other point except this. And it always rubs me the wrong way when this happens because you're the one that's changing how the save works. You know how the data's changed. You can fix it. It's just data,
Yeah.
right? Like, so this again goes back to me being a software developer. When we have databases and we change how the database works, you don't just go to customers and go, sorry, your data's gone. You have to start again. That's not how it works. You update, you have scripts that fix these things so that everyone's data still works. And if you don't, you get sued. Like this is a thing that happens.
Yeah.
And they have to do it as well. They have been doing it up to this point, and they will be doing it after it. What they say is, this is a one-time thing. Okay, well, if it's a one-time thing, you didn't need to do it this time.
Yeah, but that's work now.
Yeah, I absolutely get that. You're making the game, right? Like, it annoys me because it's like, it's not a unique thing, right? Going,
Yeah.
oh, our save format has changed. I get that. That's annoying. That's what happens when you add features into a game, and I get that it's annoying. But this is a thing you will have been dealing with and will be dealing with. But for some reason, when you come out of early access, it is socially acceptable to go bye bye to your save files. There's
Yeah, it's
one
not great.
specific thing. Never at any other point do people accept this, but for some reason, when you come, the people who have played the game through its development, have funded the game through its final development, they are the ones that suddenly get their saves destroyed.
Yeah, that's the kicker, especially if you pay for an early access. Like, I almost feel there's
Yeah,
legal
it's one thing.
shenanigans you could get into.
It is one thing if it's a demo, right? Like I
Yeah.
love when a game has a demo and then that save file continues onto the game. I think that is great. I think
Yeah.
that is good. That is pro consumer. But I get that that is not something that is required. It's a demo, blah 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 blah. Fine, I get that.
Yeah.
When I'm playing a game, I bought a game, I'm playing a game, and now I'm just updating the game to the next version. I should be able to continue what I had. And I get that sometimes it'll be like, oh, well, the game will be better if you start a new save. Sure, fine, but let me choose to do that. They say this is not the ideal outcome that we wanted. However, 1.0 has so much packed into it, and you will enjoy it. I like how you're telling me how to feel.
Yeah.
I will. You will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. They also say, we do promise this is a one-off. 1.0 saves are sacred. They're not going anywhere. Okay, sure. I was annoyed when Coral Island did this. I'm annoyed when you do it. I think it is bad. I don't think you should do it. I think when
Yeah.
you sell a game, you should be promising that that save will continue because that is, in my opinion, part of the contract.
I mean, if like I said, if money is exchanged, yes, that's your product, right? Like, yeah, that's no bueno.
The one positive they're doing, and I don't think this is a full positive, but at least it is something, is that they've said that they're going to uh, create a version of the game, which will be the last early access version of the game, which will play your existing saves. So if you want to continue playing but not get 1.0, then you can do that, which I guess is something. But
Yeah,
this all,
that's
it's all icky. I don't like it.
no bueno.
All right. Basically, they say, the reasoning is that making sure that saves work will mean that they can't do other things instead. That's their argument, which I think is
That's
a stupid argument
not
because
great.
it would just take longer, right? Like they they say we work to preserve saves and bring them forward. However, we found that the time spent doing this meant that 1.0 would not be as good of a game. After much thought, we agreed that what we wanted from 1.0 was to give you more features, more ways to play, and more content, and to address as much of your feedback as you could. You could say that about anything. You could say that about accessibility. You could say that about graphics. You could say that about anything, but you don't think that any of them are acceptable to get rid of.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't either. It's no bueno. Yeah, I don't.
All right.
Yeah.
And our final piece of news, except the new games, is Concerned Ape is still making Haunted Chocolatier. That's it. That's the news.
What?
He has
Shocker.
released a new blog post. It says, still here, still grinding. Yep, I'm still working on the game. Feels kind of dumb posting the same thing over and over, but that's the reality. I know it's taking a long time. A big part of that is I'm being very thoughtful about every aspect of the game. The things in the game which the player will be interacting with or using very often need to be perfect. They need to be seamless, clear, intuitive, satisfying, aesthetic. It then goes into like talk about specifically what it is. Like I don't think anyone's really arguing with you, man. To make the game.
No.
I get that people are probably complaining, right? Because they're like, oh, where's the blah 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 blah. But I bet he's not really reading that, right? Like he doesn't strike me as someone who's like obsessing over people complaining online about the game taking a while. He's
No.
probably doing this to himself.
Yes, he's his biggest like critic and obsession. Like this is absolutely the definition of perfect is the enemy of good.
I guess that's hard for us to say because we don't know what state the game is in. Like
Or
I know
well,
that
okay.
you joke about the game never coming out, but I don't think it will end up being in that unless he like prematurely dies. Like I think he has a specific thing he wants to hit and he's going to hit it, and it might take
Yeah.
years, but I think he's going to get there,
No.
right? Because he has released 6 updates to Stardew.
Yes. Like that's the thing. Like he knows how to release a game. Like I genuinely think like yeah, he's like you said we said he's the reason he is holding himself up. Like the game could have been out, but I don't think it's meeting his quote unquote standards. It's not perfect. Which is probably higher than anyone else's, to be very frank.
Well,
And
the
yes, it
ironic
will
thing
be,
is the longer he takes, the higher the expectations are, right?
yeah, it's a nasty
Like I think it's the same about
cycle.
GTA 6, right? Like GTA 6
Yeah.
will probably be a good game, but I don't think it'll live up to anyone's standards.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's why like he really should just release it. And here's the thing about like Concerned that we know him. He's gonna keep updating it for Infinity after it releases.
Yeah.
So like release, a like even if it weren't perfect, like I think he could still make a very good game that would sell well and people would enjoy, and then he could patch it up later. But he can't do that. It's not perfect. Like that's what I'm feeling. That he
Yeah, I
just
guess I get what you're saying. I just want to push back a little bit on that just in general because like you don't know. Like is it that it's not perfect and he wants to make it perfect, or is it just that he keeps is it the Silk Song of it all, where it's like adding more because you want to add more, and that's its own problem.
yeah. Well, that's the same vein. Like there's a point he could just say, okay, I'm going to release, push the button here to release
Sure,
right here,
sure,
right? Like that's the
but
point.
but but
Whether he's
equally,
polishing stuff or adding more content, it's the point
equally,
is.
equally,
Mhm.
Kevin, we cannot really compare the release timeline of this to Stardew Valley because Stardew Valley, that's all he was doing for years. And so We don't know how much time he spent. I know at this point he says he's working 5 days on Haunted Chocolatier and 2 on Stardew, which, by the way, insane. Please stop doing that. Um, the
Yes.
well, before that, when he told us that, we don't know how much across, the 1.5 update, the 1.6 update. We don't know how much of his time was spent on Stardew instead of Haunted Chocolatier. And this is not to say that, like, how dare he? It's more just like, I find it hard to judge when we don't have the full picture. And he's never gonna give us the full picture. And when the game comes
Sure.
out, we'll be like, this is amazing. I love this game. But we wouldn't know which bits wouldn't have been there had he released it. And I suspect, right? Like, so if we I've talked before about how Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, makes Breath of the Wild feel like an incomplete game, even though Breath of the Wild felt like an amazing game at the time.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing would happen with Haunted Chocolatier. If we get a version, I don't think you would be able to look at it and go, oh, the game would have been fine without that. Because yes, the game probably would have been fine without that. But having got it now, you can't really do that.
Look at Stardew. Do you ever feel at any point Stardew felt lacking?
No, exactly. That's exactly it's the same thing. I've talked about this before.
Well,
like Stardew is
exactly.
the epitome of updates for games. Like there was a point where Stardew feels like a full game, and then everything else is additional to that.
Yeah.
I do think there's one thing that I think that if you didn't have in Stardew, it wouldn't feel lesser, and that's Ginger Island. But that's a whole other conversation. I just like it's a hard one to judge just because we don't know what the game is like,
Well,
and
yes,
we don't know what specific things he's doing, and and also like I have played so many games where like his point is the UI and the experience needs to feel great, and I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. Because there's times where I've played games where I've like, this would be a good game if it was actually fun to play.
Yeah. I look, I agree, right? And you're right, we never know, right? He could be fighting, game crashing severe bugs all left and right.
I highly doubt it's that.
I highly, but that's the thing. Based off what we do have, right? We know we see his track record. We know what he can do, what he's put out. Like he's a very competent developer. Like, I think he could put out a more than serviceable game comparable to Stardew 1.0. I'm sure he could have already done that with Haunted Chocolatier.
No, so
but he's also.
I think the problem is you're ignoring what he's saying, and what he's saying is the core gameplay loop of making chocolate doesn't feel right. That's not something he can change after release.
Yeah, no, you're right. But here's the thing, or here's my thing. Like, what he feels that it doesn't feel right to him, like just knowing how obsessed he is with perfecting stuff. Like, I think it might actually be okay where it is.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, so, again, let's compare this to.
No.
Here's a good example to compare it to. Let's talk about like driving games. If you have a driving game that's just not right, it feels really wrong. It changes it from this is a good game with a few flaws to I hate this because nothing feels right.
Sure.
So I have this is going to sound like an insane comparison, but please stick with me. So I wear glasses, but I have an astigmatism. I'm not short or long-sighted, specifically astigmatism. And for those who don't know what that means, that instead of the lens in my eye being the wrong shape, either too concave or too convex, instead the actual eyeball itself is a different shape. It's not the right shape, and so it changes everything rather than just short or long. I'm sure some people know exactly what I'm talking about, but just so we're all on the same page. See, when you change your prescription for an astigmatism, it changes how you view the entire world, and like lines don't feel straight anymore because you've been used to how they were, right? It's not just that things are in focus now, because your brain is really good at changing it and getting used to how things look. I didn't know I needed glasses the first time because anything looked fuzzy. It didn't. My brain was adapting for it. I knew I needed glasses because I had a sore head and I went for an eye test and it turned out I needed glasses. And so when I got new prescription in January and I spent a week going, the entire world feels wrong. I hated everything. I was angry at everything. I did not want these glasses because everything felt wrong. And I think he's talking about something like that, that like there's something that he needs to change and he's not figured it out yet. He will, but he's not figured it out yet. And it just doesn't feel right. I think that's what he's talking about.
Well, we'll see. Like you said, that we don't know, right? We're both speculating and coming at it from different angles. You might be
Yeah.
right. That might be the case. Maybe it doesn't. It actually just doesn't feel right. Like I'm over here just sitting thinking it probably does, and he's just obsessed about making it or
Possibly.
what's right for him. Like is more than good enough for other people. Like I think his standards too high, but that's just again just kind of spitballing, looking from what I see here. But we don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway,
I'm not even going to judge him for having too high standards because like I like the high standards, right? Like I like
yeah,
what
that's
he
the
releases.
thing, right? Yeah.
So, but there are plenty of games. I'm fine. I can keep waiting.
Whose fantasy draft was that on? I
It was
can't remember.
Cody's.
Is it yours or Cody's?
It was Cody's because
Well, then he
they're
can keep
insane. Because for
delaying it.
some reason they thought it was coming out this year. Don't know why they thought
They
that.
ca- then you know what? It's okay. Delay it another year. It's fine.
Um,
uh,
Speaking of the draft, I did see that on the Star Sand Island Discord that they are expecting 1.0 to come out round about August. So I'm getting those points. I'm getting
yeah.
those points. All right.
Uh,
Final piece of news is a new game, and this is Petunia's Purgatory. This is a Rusty's like, just to get all your expectations in check there. Petunia's
yeah.
Purgatory is a creepy, cute idle farming game that lives at the bottom of your screen. Grow cursed crops, feed the elder god, and keep Petunia sane while her hallucinations invade your desktop. This feels too much for a Rusty like.
See, this is the paradox for me of Rusty likes. Like with any game, the more stuff you add, the quote unquote better it is or could be, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to add more content, you're trying to make it different, doing stuff. But in a Rusty like where it's taken over, it's over stuff, like it becomes a problem when it's too much and
Yeah.
it's distracting, and then I just want the full screen of the game. That's the whole thing. I mean, even looking at the screen, like it's like taking up at least a third of the computer screen.
Well, and then things pop up. This is why I think it's too much. Is things pop up then above the game itself? Like it would just be
the
like, oh, this is a thing that's happening now, and you're like, meant to
the
be
crack in the
working.
sky, no good, no good.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. And the worst
Um,
part is like it looks great, and I say worse because I mean, the stuff they're doing is fun, and they're going for the cottage gore, the creepy cute stuff. But I just want it to be a standalone game. That's all I want. Like,
yeah,
let me focus on that. like,
yeah. Like, well, that's the thing. If this was just a game, I'm in on this.
yeah,
But I don't want this as a Rusty like.
no, because then what's the point? I don't want this over anything. I just want this, right?
Yeah, I think the beauty
You
of
get
Rusty's
Mhm.
retirement was how simple it was.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, it's Petunia's Purgatory. You're doing too good of a job for your lane. Just release as a standalone, like separate window, and we'll be good. I love
That
the
is
art.
releasing on the 16th of July.
That's soon. Too late
I
for
mean, it's
them to do a
basically
standalone
out.
window. Yeah, basically.
All right, let's talk about Discounty. This is our second harvest of Discounty. Kevin,
Yes. I mean, it's weird because
it's all on you.
it's not a replay. It's I'm finishing, right? Like
Yeah, I guess that's different because, like, normally when we have a second harvest, it's like other people playing it and they want to talk about it.
yeah,
But like, that, I
yeah.
mean,
It's fine.
maybe
Whatever.
consider this more like the Stardew update
Yeah.
episodes or
Yeah.
something like that, if you want.
Whatever
It
you want
doesn't
to call
have
it,
to be an
whatever.
official second harvest, but it is.
I'm talking
Go
about
talk about the
Discounty.
game.
Okay. So, before I actually, so let's rewind a bit. For a recap for people, this county, you're a person who moves into a town with your aunt, and she forces you to work in her little discount convenience store called Discounty. Um, and yeah, and so you just start running it for her basically. So last time I talked about, I didn't even reach the ending, as I recall. I was right before the ending. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. As you play the game, you're expanding the town. Um, or not the town, excuse me, the store. You're expanding the store. You're meeting the residents of the town, and you're interacting with them. It's a very small town. Um, Blumquist, I think it is. Anyways, so a big part of the plot line is there's a lot of environmental issues popping up in the town. There's this weird pink fog. The water nearby is turning green.
We're going to go full
Uh,
spoilers, by the way, listeners. So if you want
oh
to play
yeah,
this
yeah,
game and don't want to get spoilers, there, just drop off now. They're going to be everywhere.
yeah. And so there's a handful of different environmental problems, and part of the plot is figuring out what on earth is going on, right? Um, and really the plot kind of follows a lot of the other businesses in town. Like you're interacting with them, you're doing trade deals with them. You have there's a farmer, a fisherman, and a woman who is running like a fish stick factory. Basically, she processes the fish. Um, a handful of business people, and then there's also a woman by the name of Tammy who runs a plastic factory out in the woods. Um, so you go through all that. You're expanding the town. You start butting heads with different people because some people want to keep the town small and keep its identity. And then like I said, there's all these environmental issues going on. Um, so as you progress, eventually you figure out. I actually like the ending in one way because it does a little subversion of expectations. The plastic factory owner, her name is Tammy. She's a very outspoken, aggressive, temperamental woman. She's very like business first, just money hungry. So of course, a lot of expectations or people suspecting it's her fault. All this environmental issues are going on, right? And then it turns out that's not the case. It's actually the other small business owners who are having the bad business practices and polluting and stuff like that. So the game kind of ends in this critical moment where there's almost a trial or whatnot, where you have to accuse someone of who's responsible for all these environmental issues. And so you either accuse Tammy, the businesswoman, or the other small business owners. And like I said, I think it's kind of fun because it's a little inversion where the Joja Mart owner is actually the innocent person this time. Meanwhile, Pierre is actually causing the environmental issues. Um,
I mean, I would
and
see
so
Pierre doing that, to be honest, you know.
yeah, I could too. But you know what I mean. Um, anyway, so that's kind of the climax of the story, and the game pretty much ends right there, where there's a little fallout after, um, where you basically have some damage, or you damage the relationship with whoever you accuse. The truth eventually does come out either way, regardless of your choice. And the game kind of ends there, and that was kind of the one of the disappointments of the game. The ending kind of just felt very short because you just okay, everything's out and that's it. We just keep going.
It's almost
Um,
anticlimactic.
but yeah, a little bit anticlimactic, right?
Hey, you solved the game. Congratulations.
Yeah. Um,
It'd be like if we were talking about Knives Out earlier. It'd be like if Knives Out ended with it was Steve done.
yep.
Like, no, we want the explanation. Tell us
Yeah,
how.
yeah, exactly, right. So yeah, so that's the biggest problem with discounting, that it just kind of ends on like, okay, that's it. Mystery solved. Everyone literally just go home. They added a few updates at the little minor plot line that also was going on. Let me say that. One of the other things is that there was a lot of what feels like wasted potential because the map in Discounty is fairly sizable, but a lot of it didn't get used. There's a lot of rundown buildings, there's a whole forest, and you don't do much with any of them. Like you'd
Interesting.
expect you're gonna restore the town and build it up. That's kind of what you'd expect from most cottage core games, but you don't. They're just kind of there, and they're discussed in the game, several of these buildings and locations, but you don't do anything with them. It just felt like cut content or something. Um, So yeah, kind of a weird feeling where the game just kind of ends right there, and still so much that looks like was going to be in the game. And well, that's fast forward to now. Chapter 4, People or Profit, finally fills in all of these gaps. So what's weird about chapter 4, it makes sense in my opinion, only if you played the ending a while ago, because it literally starts with everyone just having a complete change of heart. Your aunt, who was so keen on expanding the business, decides she's going to retire and hands over the store to you. So now you're in control of the store. The business owners who were causing the environmental issues have decided to ask for forgiveness, and now have banded together to create kind of like almost like a co-op sort of thing, where they're going to work on the town together and avoid bad business practices. Um, and then Tammy is now approaching you about expanding your business and, being very profit first sort of situation. So that's kind of the premise for chapter 4. As the name says, people are profit. It's very interesting because in the base game there was little to no actual choices. Like there were a few dialogue options, but no meaningful choices except for the end kinda, and even that, no matter what you pick, there's, like I said, someone would pop out and actually say the real cause of the issues. But it's kind of weird that they now have a choice system where they very clearly mark, hey, do you want to go down the route of developing the town, and supporting the small businesses, or do you want to focus on your own store and building up profits? Um, so yeah, and it's kind of disappointing too, because I thought the inversion of, making, again, Amy, the Jojo Mart owner, into actually not a nice character, but she didn't do anything wrong. Now she is
Well,
just turning into this.
not that bit.
Well, not, yeah, not that big, right? She wasn't responsible for the problem of the game. Let's say that, but
Yeah.
sure. But now she's just going all in on being profit first. So, um, or you can do the other route where you support the business owners, and and that's what I'm picking because, yeah, I don't know, just to try it. But it's it said that there's I guess I should say I've not hit credits, and I'll explain why in a bit. But there are three endings basically from this update. And it's very clear from what I've seen and what I've read. One of them is going to be the Tammy route, one is the business owner route, and one is kind of a mixed neutral ending. And so yeah, it's, I don't know, like I maybe have to see what the endings look like, but it is kind of just weird how they shifted from going from the kind of inverted story ending to just what you'd expect. Um, but yeah, like I said, I can't fully comment on it because I haven't hit it, but feels kind of weird to set it up like that. Anyways, so that's kind of the general premise of the chapter 4. But there's a lot of other stuff going on mechanically and whatnot. They're adding a lot more items. You get the self checkout. You can start doing online orders. Um, but all of that. And you can start actually fixing up the town finally. You can start repairing older buildings, and certain locations out in the woods start having purpose and whatnot. There's also a trio of new characters who joined the town. They are involved with the plot line as you help them either open their new businesses in town, or you kind of shut them down so you can keep your monopoly going. But here's the thing with all these new areas you can expand and rebuild and renovate. And this is, in my opinion, the weakest part, not just in this update, but probably the whole game. There is a new resource system. Before the gameplay was pretty much focused inside running the store, setting up your shop and checking out customers, all that stuff. And that's still, one of the primary elements of the gameplay. But now these other areas, you need to find resources: wood, metal, and electronics. And here's the problem that sucks. It's just random spawns every day. Here's some pieces of wood that spawn in this area. Go to near the mine to find some metal. Electronic spawn over here. Um, and the problem is it's very limited in what's spawning. Um, and so this is what big part of why I haven't hit credits because it takes a while to unlock the next renovation or the next upgrade to a shop or help out one of these store owners. For instance, I only have one of the new store owners up and running because I just don't have the resources. For reference, there's one project that requires 260 metal. I think it was something like that. I currently have like 60 metal, and I just can only get 10 to 20 a day from the random spawns.
Wow. Yeah.
You can buy some resources, but it's pretty expensive. There's a guy who'll sell you 50 pieces of metal for 5,000 coins, which for reference, one of the last missions in the base game requires you to save up 9,000 coins.
Ooh, goodness.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so there's no easy way of getting these resources. So it's really kind of a time grind. Just, you know, go through the day, run your shop, and you get money that way, of course. And I'll go into detail on the upgrades there, but you get, trying to keep your shop afloat, run, getting profits and whatnot. And then in the periods after, well, yeah, okay, go out to the woods, gather your resources for the day, and hope you get some decent spawns or whatever. But it's kind of a waiting game. I haven't been able to find a fast track to start pumping out more metal or electronics or whatever. And now again, I'll be asterisk. I haven't finished it, so maybe there's some stuff that unlocks later that helps, but I haven't seen anything online. I haven't found anything in game. Um, and it's kind of a bummer that that's why I haven't even been able to fully talk about the game because I just hit this kind of slog.
Mm.
Um, I still enjoy the game overall, but it just the pacing is really weird because base discounting, I think the pacing was pretty good, story wise and gameplay wise. Like it all went hand in hand, and it felt very intuitive, and it didn't feel like I got stuck at any point really. Um, but uh, but yeah, so that's kind of a shame. Also, because they're adding all this new stuff, you start to see a few weaknesses in the base game, like a lot of the tutorials, you can't access them. And I forgot some mechanics or I missed something on these new resources. And then, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do? I have to go online and figure out what I'm missing. So that's a shame. But yeah, so and I mentioned this last week, but going back into the game, you're just kind of thrown into the deep end because you're late game, and you have to remember how to run your store and do everything. But again, there's no tutorials or library that you can access all the mechanics, how to do it. So that's kind of a shame. They probably should have introduced something like that for this update. Um, but uh, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna talk about the store a little bit. So yeah, the store runs the same, where you set up all your inventory out, all your shelves, and then people come in, they pick up their items, and then you check them out at the cash register. And I talked about that, how there are upgrades to help with that. There's a scanner that makes it way better, and they kind of did an accessibility thing where you can just have it on all the time. Um,
Nice.
and that's great. And so they tried spicing up the actual shop gameplay a little bit with a few different things. First of all, obviously a whole bunch of new inventory added that you can start stocking and selling more, which is in my opinion, that's what I like. The kind of the puzzle of how am I going to set it all up? Um, how much of each do I carry? Because the more inventory you carry, that's more you have to manage. Um, but then they do a few different things too. Like for instance, now there are random events in the shopping gameplay. For instance, it might be a rainy day. So customers who come in will start tracking more mud, which you have to clean up using like a little sponge. That was already an existing mechanic, but it's just happening more frequently, and it interferes with the customers walking around if you don't do it. There might be days where there's a hot item where they're going to start trying to buy a lot more of a certain item. There are days where the scanner will break down. When the update first dropped, that was for the whole day, which is kind of wild. They take away your automation, but I can see the appeal. But they felt it was a
Mhm.
little heavy handed. So they've already done one patch since then, and they knocked it down to, I think it's just like only a few orders where it's down. Um, but anyway, just random little chaotic elements like that to make the a little less monotonous, and I appreciate it. Um, they also did online orders, which I have not unlocked yet. That's a feature I've been working to try to get to, but that will be interesting to see because I think that will actually add to the gate shopping gameplay. Um, and then there's Rejoice Al. There's the self checkout system, so you don't even have to scan it for people.
Yes, so
Um,
tell me, is that something you're having to unlock?
it
That
is
was what we
something you have to.
expected.
It is something you have to unlock. That is correct. Um,
Sad.
and I haven't done it myself. I haven't found it to be honest. Or
Shocking.
if I did, I can't remember. But it's uh, yeah, I'm sure it is very helpful to have that because the kind of the checkout thing is almost the primary gameplay really during the shopping hours. Um,
Yeah, I get that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But this is the thing, right? Like
yeah,
that's always what has put me off from it, you know.
yeah. No, I don't blame you. It's you hate it or you love it. That's kind of what it is. Um, but yeah, so that's excuse me. Yeah, that's kind of the updates to the shopping experience. I again, with all these resources being added and a lot of progression kind of being slowed down, like I haven't unlocked a lot of it. Also, just as I said, I've been working like crazy. I haven't had time to really dig into a lot of these or think. I have some time. I've done at least I don't know 10 hours or so since picked up the update. So
So
I've got a good
10
amount of
hours or
time.
so, and you were pretty much finished the game before the update came out.
That is correct. Yes, and
And
the
you
original.
are a fraction of the way towards being able to get the final stuff.
Yeah, that's correct.
That feels
Let me see.
very
I could be.
imbalanced to me.
It does. Let me. You know what? Let me check the actual time because I could be dead wrong. I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. 10 hours is a bit much, but at least from what I recall, when I finished the game, I was about 15, 16 hours. Right now, playtime says about 22 hours, so 5, 6 hours. Um,
Yeah, I mean, if you think
which
about that compared to like your original playtime, like that feels like a lot.
it is. Yeah, that's a thing, right? When I played the game originally, the base game, like I was when I saw sat down for a good hour or a good session, I would make progress. Like you could very much feel it. But it just really slowing down. And I don't know if that was kind of their like how they want to pad out time or I'm just missing something. I don't know, but it's not as smooth as the first as the base game, which is kind of a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the biggest problem of like the game so far. Or this update specifically. Like the base game, I think is still just fine, and I still recommend this game to anyone. It's a fairly affordable. And it's a solid game. Um, and they like I said, they already put out a patch to smooth out some of the issues that were popping up, and I'm sure they will continue to improve. Um, but I'll have to see. I am still intending to hit credits. But yeah, I'm curious to see if things pick up. Well, for instance, I've just restored the mine, so I don't know if that will spawn out more metal or not. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just reading over some of the patch notes here. Um, they yeah, I mean they've already reduced some of the costs from fixing up some stuff and whatnot and just some quality of life stuff. And I think they could use another round of that, but
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm still enjoying the game overall. I won't lie, but it's just interesting that from a game that was pretty solid to start with, they did a big update and introduced frustrations, like more as much gameplay, maybe not as much as the gameplay and updates, but um, when I had very few complaints with the base one, now there's some gameplay frustrations. Very kind of strange. But yeah, that's that's kind of where I am so far. Like I said, I might be speaking prematurely. But time wise, again, 5 hours in when the original run took me 15 hours. I really think I should be farther ahead, no? But
Yeah, I think so. But
it's, mhm.
is that is that causing you less enjoyment of the game, do you think?
It's not, eh, I'm not gonna say less enjoyment. Like it certainly didn't take away from the base game experience. If anything, the frustration is I can't get to experience the game because I know what's there is good. Like I haven't been able to enjoy these new characters as much. Like I helped one lady, she now runs a health shop, selling kale and whatnot, and introduces more inventory for you. Um, and I want to experience that with the other characters. One of them is actually Tammy's estranged brother who just moved into town, which will be fun to work with. Um, so yeah, I want to get through the game faster. Like that's my biggest complaint, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm probably gonna have to do at least some sort of section later for a follow-up when I finally hit credits on this update. But it's still fun. It's still enjoyable. I'm trying to think what else I want to add. Um, like I know I didn't go super deep into the story or whatnot, but it's still it's nothing super crazy aside from did I mention the protests last time? Did I talk about that with you? The protests?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, the story has a few fun beats. Like I said, there's this big sort of one of the running themes is keeping the town small versus expanding your business. At one point, there's a basically a historic landmark, like the town's founder, their house is right next to your store. And at one point in the store, the aunt, who owns the store again, she's the one who makes these decisions. She wants to basically buy that property, tear it down, and expand the store even further. And so that causes some big unrest in the town, and there's some protests outside your store, which was kind of fun to see. Again, in many ways, you kind of are running the JoJo Mart, and so you have a chance to make it a little more ethical than that. But so that is kind of fun to see. Um, to see again some opposition and how you deal with it. And hopefully we'll see more of that from this expansion later on. But I'm just not there because I gotta I don't have enough metal. Just legitimately, I don't have enough metal pieces to restore everything. So we'll see. I don't know
Yeah.
if yeah, I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. And I think that's actually a big problem from the update. They added so much stuff, but they don't guide you to it. Um, like for instance, to figure out where to go to pick up the different resources, they kind of just have to wander around and happen to run into certain areas. There's no indicator to say, "Hey, go here," and you'll just learn more about how to find X resource. Um, so I think that's another big issue that they need to fix in this chapter 4 stuff. But we'll see. Like they're working on it. I still have faith in it. Yeah, and I'm still happy overall. I still recommend it.
Well, I mean,
Should,
that's the main thing, right? Like, if you're, as long as you're
yeah,
still enjoying it, even if, some games have grinding for things, right? Like, that's just
yeah,
how games have. And yeah, I do think that most games would be better without it, but sometimes they have it, and that's life. And as long as the core gameplay you're still enjoying,
yep,
like if we think about like Pokemon, the grinding they've gotten rid of has been the not fun grinding, right? The like just going through the grass and tearing down Pidgey, right? Like that was never fun in my opinion. And so they added stuff that would mean you didn't have to do that. But if you're enjoying the core gameplay, then what's the problem with some grinding?
yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right about that. I guess yeah, you're right about that. It's not even the grinding, just it's all time based. I guess that's well, I guess you could argue all grinding is time based, really, but it's very passive. Let's say that, right? At least
Yeah.
with Pokemon, the grinding is active to some degree, right?
No, I don't think that's a positive from on Pokemon's end. I think that's a negative.
Well,
Like if I'm
so
playing the
man,
game and having fun and passively grinding, that is much better than like I am going out to go and grind 100 Pokemon. That's not fun.
well, mm, I guess okay, well. Yeah, that's a whole episode topic, I guess. What kind of grinding is the best? Um, but that's roughly everything I've got to say on Discounty right now.
Cool.
It's a little premature. The idea was to hit credits for this. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to. But
We can't keep delaying episodes forever, Kevin.
yeah, it's fine.
I
It's
mean,
fine.
I think if you end up having something interesting to say after you've finished it, nothing says we
Yeah,
can't do another episode.
yeah. There you go.
We'll see how you feel after you've finished it. You know, you've had interesting stuff to say. It's progressed more. It's added to the game. It's still enjoyable. Those are all good things for people who've been
Yeah,
interested in the game. Okay, last
yeah,
question just before we finish.
yeah,
I know I just said I need to finish, but let me just do this last one question.
yeah.
Uh Game didn't feel complete after the previous one. I
Yes.
know you're not going to be able to answer the question as to whether it feels complete now. I'm not going to ask you that. Do you
Yeah.
feel like it should have been early access up to this point?
Mm, uh, nah.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say nah, nah,
Okay.
because like what wasn't there was mostly, let's say, flavor wise, like a story ending, really. But the gameplay itself, the mechanics, everything was fine. Everything was worked great. Like when I think early access, like I think of what was the game we talked about that didn't have chickens and cows, like missing really fundamental gameplay stuff.
Yes, of course, of course. But so I
Yeah.
guess the question is, the story felt unfinished, but did it feel complete? Like those are two different things, right? Like, did it feel like
Okay.
it was telling a story, but then you just wanted more? Does it feel more
Yes.
like a sequel than it does just finishing the existing story?
I probably have to get a little further into fully answer that, but what was there when you hit the ending of chapter three? It was maybe not the best ending. It was an ending though. Like the execution was a little sloppy, but I think they set out to do. It just, yeah. I think it was complete. Like I don't think I hold it against them calling it 1.0 when they dropped it. Like
Okay,
it did feel like a complete game. I'll say
all
that.
right, fair enough. All
Yeah.
right. Well, tune in next time. Well, not next time, but tune in some other time when when we're gonna uh, maybe talk about the final. If there's anything interesting, talk about the final
Yeah.
story. But thank you, Kevin, for joining me to talk about Discounty again.
Thank you, Al, for having me on.
Is there anything you would like to share with the audience?
Not much. I'm Cooper Press, whatever, if you care, but I'm more interested in telling them about the show, Al. To tell them where to find things.
You can find the podcast on Tumblr and on Blue Sky at THS Pod. You can send us feedback from our website, harvestseason.club. Tell us what you think about early access saves not being compatible with 1.0. Tell me why you disagree with me, because I bet a lot of you do.
Ooh, I want to hear that. Who would disagree with that?
Also on the website, you can find links to everything to do with the podcast, including a Patreon, patreon.com/dhspod, where you can support the podcast, get access to our Slack, and get access to our bonus podcasts. I haven't released the one about the Nintendo Direct yet because I forgot to
Oh
edit
yeah,
it this week, but I will edit it
that's
next
fine.
week and it should be out very soon.
I like Nintendo. Happy Star Fox, everyone.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Kevin, again for joining me. Thank you,
Thank you
listeners, for
all.
listening. And until next time, have a
Have a
good
good
harvest.
Bye bye.
The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
Sorry for rushing that. I'm absolutely desperate for the toilet.
Nope, you gotta go.